the notes you read about Qusay, one of the ancestors of the Prophet, and you get to know that he took back the power of the city of Makkah. Okay, okay, he wrestled back the power for the Quraysh. Okay, he was a Qurayshi, and he took the power from Khuza. If you read the notes, it is a very detailed explanation of uh, the ancestor of the Prophet Qusay, 6 generations before. Now, in short, the story is Ibrahim alayhi salam leaves Ismail alayhi salam and Hajra alayhi salam in the valley of Makkah. Okay, there is no one in the valley of Makkah. Now, a tribe called Jurhum passes by and decides to stay in Makkah because of the Zamzam water there. Hmm? And Ismail alayhi salam marries one of the women of the tribe of Jurhum. Okay, so the Jurhum are staying there. Now the Jurhum begin to do some bad things. They don't treat the people well, and there is one tribe, Khuza. Okay, Khuza then overthrew the Jurhum tribe. Okay, they fought the Jurhum and they uh, overthrew the Jurhum. Okay, now the Khuza is ruling the Makkah. Okay, the city of Makkah. Now, one of the ancestor of the Qusay, if you read the notes in detail, you get the story. So now it's not the time to go again into the story of Qusay. So in short, Qusay is taking back the power of Makkah for the Quraysh from the tribe of Khuza. Okay. Now he is known, the Qusay is known that he dug a well, not Zamzam. He dug another well to provide water for the Hujjaj. And this water was needed because there was no Zamzam in the time of Qusay. Okay, there was no Zamzam in the time of Qusay, around 400 years before the Prophet. Okay, Qusay lived around 400 years before the Prophet, and there was no Zamzam in the time of Qusay. So, what is the reason? We'll just see why there was no Zamzam in the time of Qusay. So, as I told you, the story of Qusay, okay, taking back the power of Makkah for the Quraysh from the Khuza tribe, he dispelled the Khuza tribe from Makkah. उन्होंने हुसै ने खुदा को बाहर निकाल दिया मक्का से. Okay, now there was a very bad act from the Jurhum. Okay, when the Khuza attacked Jurhum and the Jurhum realized they are going to lose, they did a very dastardly act. They buried the well of them. Okay, जब Khuza Jurhum को attack करती है, Jurhum is the tribe in which Ismail alayhi salam had married. And when the Khuza attacked Jurhum, they buried the well of Zamzam. They covered with stones and mud. Okay, the Zamzam is gone now. They destroyed it. They buried it. And no matter how much Khuza tried, they tried and tried and tried, but they could not find the well of Zamzam. So when Qusay wrestled back the power from the Khuza, okay, the Khuza was now defeated when Qusay came. There was no Zamzam because the Jurhum had buried the well of Zamzam. Okay, so we come to the first incident in Abdul Muttalib's life. Now, these are very significant incidents in the life of Abdul Muttalib, the grandfather of the Prophet, which were the precursor of the birth of the last and final messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, Zamzam is very significant among the Arabs in Makkah. So now we come to Abdul Muttalib. Okay, Qusay is gone. He is the great grandfather of the Prophet, 6 generations. Now, Abdul Muttalib, now he is the leader of the Quraysh, and he sees a dream. Okay, okay. There is no Zamzam now in Makkah. The people of Makkah had to go to other areas to find water. Now there is a dream. Okay, Allah showed Abdul Muttalib the place of Zamzam. If you go to such and such place next to this idol, because there were idols around the Kaaba. Around the Kaaba, there were so many idols. So Allah showed him in his dream that there is the Zamzam well beside this idol. Now initially Abdul Muttalib ignored the dream. Okay, he says, okay, dreams are dreams. Okay, he ignored the dream, but he kept on seeing the same dream again and again and again. So he realized this is from Allah. Okay. Now, to cut a long story short, he takes his eldest son Haris. Okay, his eldest son is Haris, and he begins to dig the spot he sees in the dream. Okay, now he is digging and digging, and the Quraysh are mocking him. They are saying, for hundreds of years, nobody could find Zamzam. And now you, father and son, you are digging for Zamzam. Okay? They are mocking him. वो उनका मजाक उड़ा रहे. He kept on. Abdul Muttalib and Haris, his eldest son, kept on digging and digging until they struck the most precious thing, more precious than gold, more precious than oil. He struck water. Okay, and there was, you know, a chaos among the people of the Quraysh. Now the Quraysh surround Abdul Muttalib and his son Haris, and he said, "Now this is our property now." But Abdul Muttalib refused and said, "No, I have discovered it and I have the rights of Zamzam." Now he is going to give the water to everyone, no doubt about that. But there are certain significance in holding the rights, the ownership rights of the well. So Abdul Muttalib is telling that I have discovered Zamzam, I will have the right to Zamzam. Now the Quraysh, start fighting. Okay, a fight is about to break. Now there was a danger of people getting killed. So now Abdul Muttalib feels helpless, and he says, he makes a dua, he makes a pledge to Allah. Oh Allah, if you ever give me 10 sons to defend me, I will promise that I will sacrifice one son for you. Okay, this is the time when Abdul Muttalib has only one son, the eldest son Haris. Okay, so he makes a pledge. Okay, now the Quraysh are fighting, and now they realize eventually. Okay, they go to a priestess. They go to a woman, a priestess, and they take her advice. Okay, they say, the Quraysh say, if we fight, somebody is gonna get killed. Okay, so we go to a priestess, okay, a fortune teller, to take her advice. Okay, what to do now? We have this problem. Now, when they are going to the fortune teller, on the way, they get lost. And everywhere there is a desert. Everywhere around Makkah is a desert. Nothing grows there, no water, nothing, only mountains and sand. Now they are about to die. So on the way, they are all the Qurayshi people, Abdul Muttalib, his son Haris, and the cousins and those and other relatives of Abdul Muttalib who were fighting for the rights of Zamzam. Now they were going to the priestess and they get lost. They are all about to die. Now Abdul Muttalib advises them, okay, we are all gonna die now. So each one of you dig their own grave. Okay, he says nobody is coming to bury us. So we will dig our own grave. So people start digging their own grave. Okay. And as Abdul Muttalib is digging his own grave, he strikes water again. Now the Quraysh realize that this is a sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they say, and they hand over the rights of Zamzam voluntarily to Abdul Muttalib. Okay, see, they say, now Abdul Muttalib, you have the rights of Zamzam. Okay, Allah is showing sign after sign after sign. Okay, so this is how we come to the end of the first incident, the rediscovery of Zamzam. Okay, now there is Zamzam again in Makkah. Just a look at the children of Abdul Muttalib. He had 12 sons. The eldest one, as I said, is Haris. The second one is Zubair. The third one is Abdullah, the father of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And then we have Abu Talib. And all these four are from one mother. Then we have Abbas and Dirar from another mother. That is another wife of Abdul Muttalib. Then we have Hamza, Mukawwam, Hajm from another mother. And then we have Abu Lahab, all by himself from one mother. Okay, so these are the sons of Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Muttalib had even 6 daughters: Safiya, Atika, Hakim, Umayma, Arwa, and Farrah. Okay, Safiya, as you know, is discussed in the Seerah of the Prophet. She is one of the aunts of the Prophet. About Atika, okay, who was alive when the Prophet began preaching. She was still alive, but we don't know about her much. She simply disappears from the Seerah. We don't know whether she accepted Islam or she didn't accept Islam. Okay, we don't know. She just disappears from the Seerah. Then we have Hakim. Then we have Umayma. Now, Umayma is the mother of Zainab bin Jahsh, the cousin of the Prophet, to whom the Prophet was married. Okay, Zainab bin Jahsh was a cousin. Okay? Umayma is the mother of Zainab bin Jahsh. Okay? Now we have Arwa and Barrah. These are the 6 daughters of Abdul Muttalib. Now we come to the second incident in our topic, the vow, sorry, the vow to sacrifice Abdullah. As I have already, we have discussed about the story that Abdul Muttalib makes a vow when he is with his eldest Haris, that if Allah gives him 10 sons, he will sacrifice one for the sake of Allah near the Kaaba. So he takes, okay, now he draws lots among his sons, okay, and the lot he gets Abdullah's name, okay. Abdullah was probably 17 years of age at the time, okay. Now the Quraysh, they know that Abdullah is the most beloved to Abdul Muttalib. Now they say, oh, how can you do this? How can you sacrifice Abdullah, your most beloved? Think of some way out. Okay. Again, as was the custom, they take the advice of a priestess, of a fortune teller, a woman, okay, so-called priestess, fortune teller. The Arabs used to respect and honor these type of people a lot. They go again, and lots were drawn. Initially, when this incident happened, the price of blood money was 10 camels. So anybody kills another person, he has to pay blood money. He has to pay blood money 10 camels. So they start with 10 camels. The lots are drawn, and the lot comes in the name of Abdullah. So they increase the amount of camels. Now 20 camels. Now they go on and on and on. Still, the name of Abdullah is coming. When they reach 100 camels, now the lot falls in the favor of the camel. Now this is the blood money for Abdullah. Now in our Sharia, in Islam, Still, okay, still the amount of blood money is 100 camels. Or if you can calculate the amount of money, if you go and buy a camel, what is the price of the camel? So 100 camels, the price of 100 camels is the blood money even now. The Sharia has kept it same. Okay. So if now, even now, in Islamic laws, if a person kills another person, so he has to pay 100 camels or the money equivalent to 100 camels. So where this came? It came from this incident. Okay. Now we come to the okay, a very interesting incident here. Now, Ibn al-Zabihain. Okay, there is a one hadith in Mustadrak al-Hakim. Okay, Muawiyah ibn Abu Sufyan radiallahu anhu, he says, we were with the Prophet when a Bedouin came to him and said, O Messenger of Allah, I left behind me a barren and drought-stricken country. My property has vanished and my children are at loss. Bestow on me some of your favors, O son of the two human male sacrifices. Az-Zabihain. Who are these two male sacrifices? Ismail alayhi salam and Abdullah, the father of the Prophet, peace be upon him. You know the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam about to sacrifice Ismail alayhi salam and his ransom. Then again, after so many years, Abdul Muttalib is about to sacrifice Abdullah, but then again his ransom. Okay. So when this person, this Bedouin comments, okay, Ibn al-Zabihain, the son of two human male sacrifices, the Prophet smiled, okay, and didn't rebuke him. He didn't scold him. He didn't feel bad, okay, and he even didn't deny the description. The Prophet was okay with the description. The son of two human male sacrifices. Now we come to the third incident, the incident of the attack of the elephant. Now, Abraha was a Christian governor of Yemen under Najashi, Negus, the ruler of Abyssinia. Now, keep in mind, very important point, that this Najashi is not the same as the same Najashi to whom the first batch of Muslim immigrants went, okay, spoke to. He is the father of the Najashi, the king to whom he gave shelter to the Muslims. That this Najashi is the father of the Najashi who gave shelter to the Muslims. So he is another Najashi, is another Negus, he is a Christian. Now under Najashi, Abraha was the Christian governor of Yemen, and he saw his people, most of the Arabs, go north. So he said, where are you going? You people always go at the time of Hajj. So even Hajj was there since Ibrahim alayhi salam. Although the Mushrikeen started so many un-Islamic practices, so many evil practices along with Hajj. But Hajj was there. So the Abraha, he inquires, why are these people going to the north? So the people said, we have to go to do Hajj. Where? To the Kaaba in Makkah. There is a house of Allah. The people are telling Abraha, there is a house of Allah, Kaaba, and we are going there. So he is jealous. He said, I will build a house that is far better than any of your houses, far better than any Kaaba, and you will all come for Hajj here in Yemen. So now he builds a massive church, a massive cathedral, okay, because he was a Christian, right? So he builds a massive cathedral and it was out of glass, okay. Can you imagine at that time, so many, 100 years before, okay, around 1500 years before, in Arabia, he got stained glass, okay, so beautiful, such a beautiful building. So they had access to architects, okay. So it's so mind blowing that architects were there, and so much they had access to so much building material. Okay, and they got stained glass and everything, and they built the biggest temple of Christianity in the entire Arabian Peninsula. Now Abraha orders, all of you have to come here. They don't, you will not go to the Kaaba. Now, one of the Arab Bedouins, he heard this order and he gets upset. He gets very, very upset. And he went there in the cathedral and relieves himself. That is, he defecates. Okay? वॉशरूम जाता है, वॉशरूम की तरह यूज करता है वो कैथेड्रल, to insult the building, okay, to dishonor the building. Okay, he goes and relieves himself. And when Abraha comes to know this, he is very angry. He is very, very angry, and he says, as a revenge, okay, as a revenge, I will destroy this house, Kaaba. So people will don't have no option but to come here to my church, my cathedral. So he prepared a huge army. And one of the significant, um, you know, content of the army is elephants. Now, Abraha is an African. No, he is an African, and you find lots of elephants in Africa. The people of Africa, even at that time, they have trained elephants for war. In Arabia, okay, in Arab country, there are no elephants. People might not have even seen elephants. Okay, but with Abraha, he was an African. He had a group of African elephants, and one was the biggest elephant, and he was the leader of those elephants. His name was Mahmud. Okay? So he marched with his army of around 8 elephants, and some historians say 20 elephants. And Mahmud was the name of the chief elephant. So he's marching towards the Kaaba. Now, a tangent, an offshoot of this session is Abu Rughal. Who is this person? Now, Abraha hired an Arab guide to take him to the Kaaba. Okay, his name was Abu Rughal. Okay, Abu Rughal is an Arab, but for he is greedy. For a certain amount of money, he sells his soul to Abraha. He sells himself. He does not care about the Kaaba. He does not care about the Arab's honor for the Kaaba. And he decides, he agrees to take Abraha to the Kaaba. Now, Abu Rugal became the infamous for treachery. वो धोखे के लिए फेमस हो गए अबू रुगाल. और आज भी अरबिक में एक एक्सप्रेशन है. There is an expression in Arabic. If you want to, if a person is telling lies, he is deceiving you, and Arab will tell you are more treacherous than Abu Rugal. Okay, आप अबू रुगाल से ज्यादा धोखेबाज हो. आज भी एक अरबी में कहावत है वहां पे. तो ये अबू रुगाल एक आदमी है, अरब है, लेकिन कुछ पैसों के लिए वो अब्राहा का गाइड बनने के लिए तैयार हो जाता है और उसकी आर्मी को मक्का की तरफ, काबा की तरफ लेके जाता है. Now, Abdul Muttalibs 200 camels, another very interesting incident. And rest assured, you are going to get the notes, inshallah. No problem. So these are, I'm telling the main points of this lecture, of this session, in a comprehensive manner, but you will get the detailed notes, inshallah. So we come to the point, Abdul Muttalib's 200 camels. Now, Abraha is coming with the entire army, with, so many elephants. Now, when he gets near Makkah, he captures the livestock of Abdul Muttalib. Okay, Abdul Muttalib had 200 camels and sheep grazing around Makkah. So Abraha comes and captures the livestock, all the 200 camels, sheep, etc., everything, and he takes him, he camps near Makkah. Now, Abdul Muttalib, when he gets to know that Abraha has taken his camels, now he's going to meet Abraha. Okay. Now, again, a tangent in this lecture, Abdul Muttalib's leadership quality. Abdul Muttalib, the description of Abdul Muttalib in history, that he was a very tall man. Okay, very tall. He was very handsome, very admirable. Okay, and scientifically, that it is proven that the people who are handsome or the women who are beautiful, they actually get leadership positions. Okay, they get leadership positions. This is a scientific study. Okay, people automatically give a lot of respect. Okay, to the people who look better. Okay, so Abdul Muttalib was one such dynamic person, very handsome, a natural born leader. Okay, very handsome, very strong. He looked like a leader. Now, when Abdul Muttalib goes to meet Abraha, Abraha is in awe of Abdul Muttalib. Okay, Abraha Abdul Muttalib को देख के उनकी तारीफ करते हैं, एकदम को impression पड़ता है. Okay, and Abraha was impressed by his personality. He knows that this is really a leader of the Makkans. Now it is said that when Abdul Muttalib entered the tent, Abraha actually stood up from his chair. Okay, Abraha was sitting on a sort of throne, sort of chair, and Abdul Muttalib had to sit down on the throne. But when Abdul Muttalib enters, Abraha is so impressed by Abdul Muttalib's personality that he gets up from his chair and sits down on the floor with Abdul Muttalib. Okay, Abdul Muttalib, the chieftain of Makkah, has come, he says, and he sits down to talk to him. Okay, so he says to Abdul Muttalib, Abraha says to Abdul Muttalib, see, I have no problem with you people. I just want to destroy the Kaaba. So very quickly, you all people, you go to the mountains. Okay, you go to the mountains. Leave Makkah. I will destroy Kaaba and go away. I don't have any enmity with you. I don't have any problem with you. Okay, you just move away from Makkah. I will destroy the Kaaba, break the building, and then go on my way back. Okay, there is nothing personal. But Abdul Muttalib has other things on mind. He says very plainly to Abraha, Abdul Muttalib says, I did not come to talk about the house, about the Kaaba. I came to talk to you about my camels. Now Abraha is upset. He loses the honor of Abdul Muttalib. Abraha says, I had such respect for you. Okay, I have come to destroy the house of Allah. Okay, the Kaaba, and you are not worried. You are, so shameless that that you are not worried about the Kaaba. You are worried about your own wealth, about your own camels. I had respect some time before, but now I have lost respect for you. You are a selfish person. I came to destroy the Kaaba. You are not worried about the Kaaba. You are worried about the camels. Okay. So Abraha tells plainly to Abdul Muttalib, I have lost all respect for you. Now Abdul Muttalib's reply, okay, a very comprehensive reply, a very crisp reply, filled with Tawheed. Okay, we can learn a lot of Tawheed even from the people of those times who were not Muslims, but still they knew Allah, they trusted Allah, they worshipped Allah, but along with Allah, they worshipped even the statues. They did shirk, but still they had the concept of this, a very clear concept of Allah as the Lord of all mankind. So Abdul Muttalib says, it's not my business. I am the owner of the camels, so I'm worried about my camels. I've come to ask for the camels. And the Kaaba has an owner, and that the owner of the Kaaba will look after his house. Okay, I don't have to worry about his house. So he says the camels have a lord. Okay, they're my camels. It's my job to protect the camels. And the house has a lord, Allah, and he will protect his house. So Abraha again is impressed with the answer, and he gives his 200 camels back. Okay, Abraha returns his camel, his livestock to Abdul Muttalib. Now the attack begins. The Quraysh leave the city of Makkah. Okay, they go. So Abdul Muttalib goes to the Kaaba, prays, makes a lot of dua. He says, "Oh Allah, we cannot fight this army. They are too strong for us. They have these elephants with them. They have these 1,000 men, so many people. So you take care of your house." Okay. And then he orders the Quraysh people to leave Makkah and go to the mountains. So all the Quraysh, they leave Makkah and go to the mountains and watch. Okay. They start watching the Kaaba now. What will happen? How will this army enter? How will they be able to destroy the Kaaba? Okay, they're watching now. It's a live, everything is live now. The army of Abraha, okay, they begin the march to the Kaaba. The main elephant, Mahmud, okay, they are, are taking Mahmud towards the Kaaba. They are telling him, that elephant, to move on, but the elephant, Mahmud, is not ready to move towards the Kaaba. Any other direction, in any other direction, the elephant moves. It goes here and there. But whenever he is asked to move towards the Kaaba, he is not moving. You know, we will come to this incident, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, inshallah, in our Seerah series. During the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, the Prophet's camel stopped. Okay. Now the people, the Sahaba, are getting upset with the camel, Kaswa. Okay. You can even watch my talk on Kissa Kaswaka on my YouTube channel. Okay, a very interesting talk about Kaswa. So the Sahaba are upset with the Kaswa, the camel of the Prophet, and they are telling Kaswa has become stubborn. Okay, this is happening during the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Hmm? But the Prophet said, no, Kaswa has not become stubborn. Kaswa is being stopped by the same entity, by the same Lord who stopped the elephants of Abraham. That is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving hukum to Kaswa to stop them. So, Allah is, helping the people, the Quraysh. Okay? Allah is protecting his house, his Kaaba. The elephants are not ready to move towards the Kaaba. Now, the very famous, almost all Muslims know, we have the surah about this incident, and they are debating. The army of Abra is debating what to do now. The elephants are not moving. How will we attack Kaaba? And then they see large birds. Okay, وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ. And in front of the eyes of the Quraysh who are watching from the mountains, the birds come and they, they with two stones in their two paws, and they leave the stone from up, high up, and as soon as the stone hits the animal, the elephant, or the person is literally dissolved. The stones act as bombs, okay, and they be, they become a pile of broken flesh in front of the eyes of the people of the Quraysh. The whole army of Abraha is destroyed. Okay, even Abraha dies a painful death. It is said that Abraha himself suffered the worst fate, and they carried him back, and his skin is dissolving the entire way, and he dies a painful death right before reaching his home in Yemen. Okay, so this is the very interesting incident of the attack on the Kaaba. Now, traces of the elephant. Qubas ibn Ashyam, okay, a Sahabi, has a very famous narration in Sunan at-Tirmidhi. One of the early Umayyad caliph asks him, "Are you bigger or the Prophet is bigger?" That is in age. Okay, he's asking Qubas ibn Ashyam. So Qubas says, "The Prophet is bigger than me, but I was born before him." So Qubas is trying to tell that he is bigger in age than the Prophet, but he's not ready to say that Prophet is bigger. Okay, he's not ready to say I'm bigger than the Prophet out of respect for the Prophet. He's telling the Prophet is bigger in status, but I was born before him. I am elder to the Prophet. So the Caliph asked, how are you sure about this? That you are, you know, elder to the Prophet. So he says, I remember my mother taking me and showing me the defecations of the elephants that had withered and become yellow. I saw the elephants and the defecations when I was a young boy. Okay, so he's telling that the incident of the elephant were defecating. Okay, their shit. Okay, and it had become yellow, and Kuba's mother was showing him as a child. And we all know that the Prophet was born in the year of the elephant. So it is automatically we know that Qubais ibn Ashyam is elder to the Prophet. Another interesting thing is about the blinded guide. Okay. Now Aisha radiallahu narrates in a hadith that as a young child in Makkah, she remembered seeing one of the guides of the elephant, okay, who was guiding Abraha's army towards the Kaaba. Okay, he was blinded and living as a beggar. Okay, and he was begging the people for any food, any morsel of food. So she says, I remember one of the persons. He must have been young at the time when the elephants attacked Kaaba. Now he is an old man about to die, still begging for food. This is Allah's punishment for him. So these are the three very interesting incidents in the life of Abdul Muttalib, the grandfather of the Prophet. We are coming very near to the actual entry of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Okay, you can imagine the conclusion we can make is the prestige of Abdul Muttalib. He's under his leadership. He discovers okay, Zamzam. He makes the dua. Allah sends the birds of Ababil to help him. He defends. Allah defends the haram. Now, who is living in Makkah at that time? Okay, living in the haram at that time. Amina, the mother of the Prophet. She is pregnant with the Prophet the when Abraha is about to attack Makkah. She is inside Makkah. Okay, historians say she didn't leave Makkah. Okay, she didn't leave Makkah. She is in Makkah. Okay, and the attack begins. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting the Kaaba and even protecting the Prophet. Now, the whole of Arabia recognizes the holiness, the sanctity, the significance of the Kaaba, okay, of the Quraysh. And now Allah is preparing uh, uh, the entry of his last and final messenger, Muhammad, peace be upon him. Okay, so here we come to the conclusion of this today's lecture, and we have a question and answer session now. So if you have any doubt, any questions, you can just okay ask. Okay, so any questions about this lecture? If you have any questions, you can just raise your hand. If there are no questions, we can end the session here. And we okay, there is one question now. Yes, we can take this question. Yes, you can unmute. The host can unmute the person and you can ask. Please unmute the. Okay, you can go ahead with the question, inshallah. I would request the host to unmute the person, or you can ask your question on chat. You can just put your question on chat. Yeah, you can ask your question on the in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask.
I have unmuted, but
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, then there are no questions. You can end the session here. Okay, yeah. Yes, go ahead.
हम अब रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के तुफैल से यानी दुआ कबूल हो जाए ऐसे मांग सकते हैं क्या?
मैंने जो सवाल किया है कि क्या हम रसूल के तुफैल से दुआ मांग सकते हैं? नहीं, ऐसी कोई दुआ, इस तरीके की दुआ कोई नहीं है कुरान और सही हदीस में कि अल्लाह के रसूल के तुफैल से हम कुछ मांगते हैं। हाँ, हम जो है हमारे नेक अमाल के का जिक्र करके दुआ मांग सकते हैं। एक ये बात है। नेक अमाल यानी हम लोग के पास बहुत सारे इंसिडेंट्स हैं, जैसे कि वो 3 आदमियों का इंसिडेंट है जो एक बार पहाड़ पे गए और किसी गार में, केव में अंदर चले गए, तो एक पत्थर आके वो केव का जो ओपनिंग है वो बंद कर देता है। तो वो जो 3 आदमी है वो अपने अपने नेक अमल का जिक्र करते हैं और अल्लाह ताला उनकी मदद करते हैं और पत्थर हट जाता है। तो ये एक तरीका साबित है। फिर दूसरा जो तरीका है, अल्लाह के रसूल, अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला की सिफत के जरिए के अगर रिस्क मांगना है तो या अर्रज़ाक के, तो इस तरीके से हम लोग मांग सकते हैं। लेकिन ऐसा कहीं भी नहीं है कि हम अल्लाह के रसूल के तुफैल से हमको दुआ करना चाहिए। तो अल्लाह की जो सिफत है उनका जिक्र कर सकते हैं, हमारे नेक अमाल का जिक्र करके हम लोग दुआ मांग सकते हैं। ठीक है, ये कुछ दुआ के तरीके हैं, लेकिन अल्लाह के रसूल के तुफैल से जो मांगते हैं ये गलत। उम्मीद है कि सवाल का। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? If there are no questions, then we can end the session. Okay, Feroz bhai?
one question is there. She is going to ask now.
Okay, okay.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
Sir, this is Dr. Asma. I teach psychology in the Department of Psychology, University of Kashmir.
Okay.
So this is the first lecture of yours that I have attended. I recently also joined the group, so I don't know about the earlier updates. So I'm interested in knowing whether we are going to continue this lecture series, and if so, is there a program schedule in print, so that I can take a note from that,
Okay.
and I can follow the lectures rigorously. That's one. Another
Okay.
thing is that of late I have been writing few things about Islamic psychology.
Okay.
And I'm trying to coordinate with certain people who are like pioneers of the field.
Okay.
And I'll be really very thankful if I get support from your side in terms of making a psychological analysis of the events from Prophet, peace be upon him's life.
MashaAllah, very good.
So
Okay.
that's number 2. And also third one, it is a simple request that if I get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation that you have presented today,
Okay.
I'll be really thankful. Thank you so much.
Okay. The first question put by the sister, Dr. Asma, right? Okay. So she has. I hope you are in the group, the Seerah WhatsApp group. Have you joined the group?
No, not really. I am in the ISIP group.
Okay, you are in the
So,
ISIP. So
yeah,
there is
yeah.
one group. You just send me a message on my personal WhatsApp chat. On my personal
Right.
WhatsApp chat, you send a message. Salam alaikum like that. Okay, and I will I will join you in my Seerah WhatsApp group.
So I don't have your number also.
Okay, okay, okay. So you can just take my number 797. Just write down and save.
Okay, sorry. Okay, fine. Okay,
Yes,
so I'm
just take.
noting down.
Yes.
So can you please repeat it once again?
Yeah. 797.
Just a second. Just one second. 797
Okay, 797 74
74
010
010
74.
74.
Okay, this is my number. You can just send a personal message on the number. There is
Thank you.
our group, Seerah classes, okay, online Seerah classes group.
Okay.
These classes are absolutely free. This is the
Okay.
third lecture. Okay, this is the third
Okay.
lecture. And the first lecture was why to study the Seerah. What is the importance of studying the Seerah? And the second
Right.
was genealogy of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Okay, and this is
Okay.
the third lecture. And
Yeah.
we have the notes. I have provided even the notes of every lecture. Even this
Right.
third lecture, I'm going to give the notes. So, inshallah,
Okay.
I will share the notes with you on your personal chat. Okay.
Yeah.
And on the PowerPoint, the PPTs, inshallah, even at that,
Yeah.
I will share. Okay.
Sure.
And you
Yeah.
can be in the group and all the updates of our program. We have this lecture, we have this online Seerah class every weekend. That is Saturday evening, 7:30 p.m.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Inshallah, I'll join you in
Saturday
the
evening, 7:30.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
Saturday.
every Saturday evening, 7:30 p.m. And the
Yeah.
second question you were asking about, I think, about psychology, right?
Yeah. Islamic psychology.
Islamic
Yeah.
psychology. You want to analyze the seerah of the Prophet and give
Yeah.
input.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
inshallah, exactly what you want now, you can just inshallah put me on my WhatsApp chat, on a personal
Right.
chat. Exactly
Mm.
what do you need from the seerah of the Prophet? I have shared
Mhm.
one book in the group, Muhammad
Yeah.
as if you can see him. Okay, Muhammad
Yes.
peace be upon him, as if you can see him, in which we have the different qualities, the characteristics, the moral and the moral values the Prophet upheld. Very interesting book, inshallah. So exactly what you want regarding that, how can I help you? Inshallah, you can just tell me. Inshallah, I
Yes.
will. And the third
Sure.
question was, I think, what was the third question?
It was just a request that you already addressed to share the
Oh,
material and everything.
okay, okay. Inshallah, inshallah.
Yeah.
I will be very glad to share. This was my mission to make the seerah of the Prophet very easily accessible, especially to the English-speaking people, the convent-educated students. Okay, so
Ji.
inshallah, will be continuing this lecture, inshallah. That's the lecture series, inshallah. Okay,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair.
yeah. Any other question now? There is one question. There is one more question.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, right now, a sister, she asked a question about some amal and, which you said that, some amals. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I didn't get, like, you have to tell Allah that, like, I have done some good things. So grant me this, like that.
Yeah. So this is a
Sir, I
question.
remember in class also, once you had said 15 to 10 years ago, you said in the class that, you can ask Allah, I did this, Allah, so give me this.
Yeah,
So is it that only?
yeah. This was the question put up by my student Misbah Mir from Islamic International School, Alhamdulillah, and she has asked the question that she didn't get because it was in Urdu, right? Tufail se Allah ke Rasul ke tufail se मांग सकते हैं क्या? That is that we by taking the name of the Prophet, making dua with the name of the Prophet. Okay, Allah ke Rasul. Okay, for the sake of Allah, for the sake of your Prophet, oh Allah, grant me this. For the sake of Prophet Muhammad, oh Allah, grant me this. So this is not allowed. As I said, we can ask Allah with your with your good deeds. Okay, there is a hadith, there is a very interesting hadith about three people, as I said, about, they put their good deeds in front of Allah and they pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, if this good deed which I have done is acceptable in your sight, then oh Allah, put me out of this difficulty, this problem. One of the deeds was, there was one person who is serving his old parents. Now this person comes in the evening with his sheep, and as every evening he used to take milk to his parents, to his old parents. So one day he comes in the evening and he finds that his parents are asleep, they have slept. So he takes the milk and he's standing there. He's standing there waiting for his parents to wake up. He didn't wake up his parents, but he's waiting. As soon as my parents, my old parents get up, I will give the milk to them. So he's waiting and waiting and waiting. His children are crying, but he's not giving the milk to them. So he's waiting, and this deed he puts up. He mentions this in his dua, and he says, "Oh Allah, if this deed is acceptable to you, if I have done this for your sake, oh Allah, put me out of this difficulty. Remove the stone from this, and the entrance of the cave." So the stone, the long story. So this is perfectly okay. You can mention your good deed for the sake of Allah, and you can mention this in your dua and make dua. Okay, and I will inshallah share with you the various aspects of making dua, inshallah. Okay, Misbah?
Okay, thank you, sir. Jazakallah.
So we end the session here. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.